Hello, virtuous thought leaders, scholars, and virtue change agents. My name is Dr. Lisa Marie Portugal, and I am the Leadership Architect. I'd like to welcome you today to another talk that I have prepared for you and in service to you and your goals. This talk comes out of one of my books called A Culture of Excellence, Virtuous Leadership Principles for Organizational Success, a Management System. And the cover slide is also the cover of the book called The Four Cardinal Virtues: Prudence, Justice, Fortitude, and Temperance. Okay, this particular slide is about my brand and my logo. I just love virtuous leadership, and there are all of the virtues that we can all work on and build within ourselves, our families, and our communities, and hopefully the broader society and our nation. All right, the table of contents, my about page. Why are traditional Christian values superior? Accountable and responsible business principles. Pervasiveness of rationalization, subjectivity, and relativism. And then, of course, conclusion and references. Here is my about page, and of course, you know, if you follow me, I am all about a shared culture of values and a culture of excellence. So here is a nice graphic with a lot of words, and as an author, a writer, a scholar, an academic, I am a wordsmith, so I love words. So this caught my attention. Why are traditional Christian values superior? Let's take a look. And, you know, as I go through my narration part, look at some of these words. You know, some of them are great. I just love them. You know, we have our values, we have our principles. A lot of these areas we aspire to, right? We challenge ourselves. We want to be benevolent. We want to have balance and autonomy in our lives. We are contributors. We want to be consistent and collaborative. If we look over here in some of these other areas, grace is important to us, right? Having grace with ourselves and with others, encouragement, empathy, enthusiasm, well-being, wisdom. You know, we all want to cultivate wisdom within ourselves, don't we? Innovation, I know that that's important to me. I like to be an innovator, and I like to impart that to you as well, that you can be an innovator. Quality, look at that. Quality, I love. Spirituality, peace, perfection, preparedness, resiliency, reliability, relationships. So all of these things are important to us, right? Okay, so let's get into this. Why do I believe traditional Christian values are superior? Because I have studied many aspects of leadership, ethics, and world religions, and I believe traditional Christian values and principles, guided by objective truth, has the ability to foster a shared culture of excellence in all people, groups, organizations, and nations. Culture has the ability to shape how people understand themselves, circumstances, and others. In addition, culture can shape how people behave, act, and the choices they make. Toxic cultures can manifest mental illness, unhappiness, perversion, unhealthy practices, and aggression toward others and self. Healthy cultures can manifest excellence because the members within the culture are given the tools and education and leadership to make right choices for successful living. Making right choices is an aspect of traditional Christian philosophy based in Aristotelian virtue principles. Building a shared culture of excellence in self, organizations, and nations can lead to healthy, thriving individuals and societies. Guiding principles such as working and living for mutual advantage, protection of and respect for human dignity, responsible stewardship, and a fair and functioning society are reflected in traditional Christian values. Furthermore, good ethics is good risk management in a business context. Accountable and responsible business principles. I love this graphic here. As Christians, we are to be godly examples in our workplace. Two areas in which we must exemplify our character in how we act and production in how we work. Very important, right? So, when we hear about that mark in scripture on the hand and on the forehead, well, I have heard that interpreted it this way. The right hand signifies the work that we do in the world. Right? It is our right hand. It's the things that we do every day. It's our, either in our personal and our professional lives. It is the work that we personally carry out in the world that we are actively involved in every day, right? The work that we do, like production, like it says here. And then the mark on the forehead, that is our thinking. What is directing our thinking? Are we directed by relativism, subjectivity, rationalization, or are we directed by objective truth? Is our intellect clouded? Are we functioning properly mentally? So that mark on the hand and the mark on the forehead, think of it in those terms. If we are the children of light and the children of God, what type of work do we want to produce in the world with our hands? And what is our philosophy? What is our thinking? What are we allowing to direct or control our emotions or our thinking? Are we following our traditional Christian path? Right? So think of those two ideas that I just presented to you, because when I first heard that, it really got me excited and helped me think about the forehead and the hand in Scripture in a very different way, right? So you and me and all of us as Christians, what are we doing? How are we thinking? And what are we producing? What are our fruits, right? What are the fruits that we want to leave behind? Okay, so let me read this narrative here to you. Moreover, when a traditional Christian values and principles framework is established, balancing the aspirations of society with the interests of business can establish mutual and sustainable prosperity for all. Finally, key dimensions of business success, such as communities, competitors, suppliers, shareholders, employees, and customers, can be optimally served when accountable and responsible business principles guided by traditional Christian values are maintained. Pervasiveness of rationalization, subjectivity, and relativism. In my view, what is wrong with modern day thinking is the pervasiveness of rationalization, subjectivity, and relativism. This type of thinking is promoted and incited in every aspect of modern life and throughout all institutions as being virtuous and sensible. Furthermore, this type of thinking completely ignores objective truth. In fact, the promoters of rationalization, subjectivity, and relativism do not even believe in objective truth, but rather in controlling people for political gain through their emotions, irrationality, and subjective experiences. Very interesting, right? That complete talk is, this slide right here is definitely food for thought for all of us as Christians, right? So relativism, here's a definition. They believe that there is no right or wrong. They believe there is no good or evil. They believe there is no plan or purpose for us. We are only here by chance. We therefore make our own luck. So that is the relativist philosophy. And as we read through that, obviously, you know that none of those statements define us as Christians. Every single one of those statements is completely false, coming from our traditional Christian perspective, because we know very well that there is right and wrong. We believe that there is good and evil. We know that we are the children of the light and God's children. We know that God has a plan and a purpose for each of us. Every single person is accountable to God, and we are accountable to Him, right? So we know we are important to Him. And because we all have a purpose and a plan, and He placed us here for that reason, we know that we are not here by chance. And, luck, well, you know what I always say about luck? Luck comes to those who have extra blessings from God, right? We don't call it luck, we call it blessings. God has blessed us with grace and beautiful blessings that He showers upon us and our families. And hopefully we want for our communities, our society, and our nation. So let's get to the last slide here. Regardless of what is going on in the culture, for example, today, right? Many of the things that are going on in our culture, Christians have always been counterculture because we have a guiding set of values, principles, morals, and ethics that we follow and believe in, right? We follow Christ. We know what is right and wrong, and we have our traditional Christian faith that guides us regardless of what is happening in the culture. That's why it is important for us to spread and model our system to teach others about a healthy way to live and interact in the world. This helps to create healthy communities, a healthy society, and a healthy nation where all of us can prosper and thrive. So now I have some important questions here for you, or an important question that you can reflect on throughout your day. Do you allow others to control your emotions and thinking through pervasiveness of rationalization, subjectivity, and relativism? There's a lot of meat and potatoes in that sentence, right? Something that we can really think about throughout the week. I always like to say, I occupy my mind. I don't let others occupy my mind. Interesting, right? So do you occupy your mind? Do you occupy your body? Do you occupy your life? All right. I want to thank you so much for joining me today and raising your leadership competencies and skills. God bless you and have a beautiful day. Goodbye.